Hello guys, this is Dipak Talaviya. In this tutorial, we will going to learn how to create very first ASP.NET MVC application. Let's see what point will be covered in this tutorial. Basically, this tutorial is divided into two parts. One will be basic overview of how to create MVC application by selecting the internet application template and understanding the structure and just run the application. And in the second part, we will create one basic application by selecting a basic template of MVC application. Understand that basic application structure by we will add some controller, add some view, under setup some root config file and finally run the application. So let's see create internet application. Okay, hope you guys set up your Visual Studio. Let's go through creating a new project. Okay, in the web area select asp.NET MVC web application. Let's give here good name MVC application. MVC first application. Okay, let's click on a OK button. This is what some template is given here. We will going to start by selecting this internet application template. What is there in this template? By selecting our project will be set up in this by selecting this internet application template. It will give us by default form authentication, some forms, some controllers and all these things, something like filters, and selecting eraser as a view. Clicking on OK. Just configure our first application. Okay, our first internet application is configured successfully. Let's see the structure of this application. In this application here, like some controller is given, already given as a account controller, home controller. Based on this controller, account controller and home controller, some view is there, like account controller contains in a view folder as account and home controller contains is view in a home folder. These all are the views file which is contained by the account controller, and these all are the views which will contains by the home controller. So all this view design is set up in a shared layout folder. If you remember, in a web form application we have used master page. So likewise same way in ASP.NET MVC application we will use as a master page as a layout. Whatever we set for a layout setup in this file, this will show everywhere. Whatever we select, wherever we select in the something like view file layout as our master page, it will show up that design in every view. Let's see by running this application. For a good practice, just clean the solution and build the solution. Okay, solution project built successfully. Let's run. Initially it will take some time for first time to running application. Okay, our first application running successfully. We have do not do anything more in this application to create. There is some home, about, content, some different views are here. So our first part is a overview for the MVC, that is done. Let's see for the next part, creating MVC basic application. Let's go ahead for that. For a good practice, by closing the solution and create a new project. Let's give a good name, MVC application. Let's click on OK button. Here we will select our template as a basic, selecting a view as a razor and clicking on a OK button. In this basic template there is not extra file will be added. We will do all these things as per our requirement. So this is the structure of our basic MVC application. There is not any file in this controller folder, model folder. There will be only one master file, that is we will consider as a layout CSH HTML file. So what we have done, creating application, understand this structure. Let's add some controller in this application. We will first of all we will create a controller as a, by right clicking on this controller folder, add and controller. By default it will given as a default one controller. So let's give it a good name. Its good name as a home controller. Selecting which kind of control we are going to create. First for this, for basically for initially we will select as it is and add it to the application. This, let's see, home controller is added in the controller folder. This is what one default action method is over here, index. When we call this index method by calling this home controller, this action method, it will return this particular view. One more thing, if we by on the basis of this view we are going to add view over here, but if our view name is different, then we have to specify our view name in string as like first view over here. In our case we will not set up our view name as different. We will add our view as it is as index. Now there is not any kind of related view to this controller. We will add one view related to this controller. Let's add view. Right click on this, add view. If this is what view name as an index. If we given our view name as like index 1, then we have to specify our view name in a string as over here, string index 1. For our understand, basically we will same we will keep it same as an index action method and view name as same. This is what strongly type view. We will consider all these point in our next tutorial. And by selecting your master page, we'll select as a layout. This is our master page. Okay, let's click on add button. This is what our first view for the controller, home controller, is successfully created. Let's add something in here. Hi, this is my first ASP.NET application. MVC. Thanks. Okay, we have written something about in our view. This is what layout. What layout we have selected, we have created in this application is a layout. We are using this layout to design up inside this index view. This index view will design up inside this layout. something like we have done in our web form application, that is master page. So we have added one home controller, we have added one view. Before running this application, let's see root config.cs file, what is there in that. So where will be root config file is app start root config file. Let's see one controller as a default. Whenever our application is start, by default it will call home controller, and inside the home controller index action by default. So let's, this is our root config. Let's run this application, clean the solution, build the solution, run. By default it will call this home controller and index action. Let's see, our basic internet application is successfully run over here. This is what our home controller's index view is called. What we have written in our view, this is this. And if I am writing something like tier 1 index 1, it will give me error. Why? Because I don't have any kind of index 1 method in this home controller. Let's see. This is given error as resource cannot be found because I don't have any kind of index 1 naming action method inside this controller. So hope you guys understand, this is home controller and calling index method. Okay, that's it for now, and we will learn something more all about ASP.NET MVC in next tutorial. So thank you guys.